single read stuff we saw in the preseason. Get him some layups, get him in rhythm. Never really felt like he fell into rhythm, even in that first drive where they drive down the field. A lot of off script, a lot of the play creation rather than the play calling and play execution. There's a lot to be figured out in Chicago coming off of a win that they had in their grasp through about 2.5 quarters, but 17-6 ain't in the barn just yet. 21 unanswered in the midst of this fourth quarter for the Vikings, who finally get one in prime time. The context of it all, a rookie quarterback or a debut quarterback after sitting out a season ago, going on the road in division on Monday Night Football and walking out a winner. He takes down in his first career NFL start the LaGrange Park product, doing it on the lakefront and doing it mostly in the fourth quarter. 6 of 8 for 87 yards and 3 total touchdowns after a spotty start, but McCarthy sticks with it and wins it. More reaction with the guys and maybe some broader strokes here on J.J. McCarthy. We see the numbers through the first 3 quarters, and then we see the fourth. I don't want to go revisionist history here, but how important was that fourth quarter for his confidence moving forward? It's start number 1 of hopefully a long career in Minnesota, but this is the type of building block you're looking for, and a start like the first 3 quarters could be something that holds you back.
No question. And the thing I love about J.J. McCarthy, just watching him in his first professional game, his ability to handle adversity early on, because the first 3 quarters was ugly. It was horrible. And I know he felt, the disappointment that he wasn't delivering. But whatever they did on the sideline in terms of coaching adjustments or just motivating him, he kicked it into a different gear in the fourth quarter, and he started feeling like J.J. McCarthy, who played at Michigan. The confidence was there. He was throwing with belief that he was going to be accurate. He was anticipating great spaces to complete passes. And then the play calling was unbelievable as well. It was like they were hand in hand in terms of Kevin O'Connell calling the best plays, J.J. McCarthy executing those said plays that led to this huge come-from-behind win for J.J. McCarthy. So to your point, how big of the fourth quarter production was? Massive, because now this is a building block for him moving forward as they get ready for week 2.
What I love that he didn't make a bad play worse, right? If there was something that wasn't going to be right the first time initially, he didn't compound it by making another mistake. He just kind of, okay, I'm going to just give what I got from the defense, give it to the running back. I'm also use my legs, buy some time, maybe get rid of the football. But he stayed locked in. I know he's big in, meditating and all that stuff. We saw that at Michigan, but that kind of helped him in this ball game because it didn't go according to plan. It truly went ahead where he looked awful in the first quarter, looked out of sorts, and then kind of stayed neutral, stayed the course. The run game kind of helped get him back into a groove, get him back to neutral. And then when they needed him, like we talked about the pregame, hey, just make your 5 plays. He made his 5 plays. 2 of them were touchdowns. One was a touchdown pass to Jefferson. That was a great throw in that situation. And the last one was when he took off around the right end and outraced everyone to the end zone. So he stayed locked in. He made plays that were there to be made, and he didn't compound bad mistakes. So this was a great rookie performance for a young guy, and you hope that he can avoid the first start and play games like he did in the fourth quarter completely.
All right, we're going full safe space here. They're not even watching anymore. Talk to me as my guys, all right? Because I need a talking to right now, because after that first drive for the Chicago Bears, there's a phrase that rolls around on X, same old Bears. So we're the same old Bears after that first drive. Your greatest excitement came from a defensive touchdown. Dennis Allen's defense flying around. That'll be plenty to get you to the finish line in this one. It's a hope that often goes unquenched in this city, Mac. You played for a team that's continued to raise that floor and keep it where it is. Chicago, the floor is so darn low, you can't even start to think about a ceiling. It perpetuates season over season. Is there something to that? A building, a place? I know Ben Johnson is tasked with turning that over and changing it, but it felt like foregone conclusion in the middle of that game when it started to turn.
Yeah, and to your point, there lies the pressure that Ben Johnson is under. There lies the pressure that Caleb Williams is under, because the bar is so low when it comes to the history for Chicago at the quarterback position.
They celebrated a team that won the Super Bowl tonight 40 years ago.
Yes,
My favorite players on the Chicago Bears played before I was born.
Yes, exactly. and we're talking about a story-rich organization And to your point, 85 was the last championship that was hoisted in Chicago.
2020, the last trip to the playoffs. 2010, the last playoff win. It's been a long time since anything, Matt.
I mean, the great city of Chicago birthed the Pope before a 4,000-yard passer.
It's crazy.
In this day and age of quarterbacking, where 4,000 yards is almost easy to do, that's the hole Chicago has been in, and that's why there's so much pressure on Caleb Williams. It's almost like because of the organization that Caleb is playing for and him being drafted number one, he has the same pressure like an Arch Manning is having in college football when the expectations are high. He has to deliver. And then when you go get him, the most coveted offensive mind in the National Football League that we've seen in recent years, to pair up with him, you think, wow, it's going to work right now. In tonight's matchup, it should. And the reason why, you played against a quarterback making his first start that was shorthanded personnel-wise. And you were at home. You were at home. And to my point, J.J. McCARTHY was asleep at the wheel for 3 quarters. And he still found a way to win. You have to find a way to win. And I know some people might say, well, it's his first time with the coach and this and that. No excuses when you have these expectations. And to your point, you guys want more. You want to see it now. You want to see the benefits of this investment now.
The word you use there, the operative term, is pressure. And it's how you deal with the pressure. It's how you turn it into something positive. It's how you change what we've seen over the last half century and turn it into something to celebrate down the line. How do you take that pressure and turn it into something positive?
I'm glad you asked, because growing up as a New Orleans Saints fan, right, it used to be the Aints. It used to be the bags over the head. And then next thing you know, Jamora came. They used to had winning seasons. They lost every playoff game. Then the Saints go down. Next thing you know, Hazlitt comes in, and it's like, okay, they got Jeff Blake, and next thing you know, they're going, right, he gets hurt. Aaron Brooks steps in, and he had the mentality, we're going to win. They get to the playoffs and beat the defending champs, the St. Louis Rams, in the Superdome. So it takes one person to believe. If you look at this Vikings team, you saw they were never, in their minds, thought they were out of a ball game. And so Chicago has to not look around and say, oh, it's the same old Bears. Somebody on that team has to step up and say, yeah, we going to win this ball game because this day is different.
Before you learn how to win, you got to learn how not to lose.
True.
And that's the biggest issue for the Chicago
12 for
Bears.
147 penalties. That's an example of.
Yes. They got to learn how not to lose. And that has been the Chicago way to which they have been outside the playoffs since
2020.
Since 2020. You know what I mean? So they got to find a way. And they haven't had a playoff win since
2010.
Super Bowl appearance, what, 2008? Something like that?
Yes.
06.
06.
Yeah. So last time they won the playoffs, I was still in the league.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
That's the end of the safe space. They're watching again. We appreciate you tuning into HQ postgame and watching us exercise some demons. It was a moment for J.J. McCARTHY here on Monday night, and that's what we come to celebrate. McCarthy, largest fourth quarter comeback wins in first career starts, finds himself on a list with Mike White, Josh Freeman, and Trevor Siemian. So indicative of nothing, but you go out and grab a win in start number 1.